Welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Once again, I'm doing a variety of different character voices until someone complains. Here's the lineup for this week: the news, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. We'll also take a look at the 2020 virtual Arlington County Fair. That's the show. Now here's the social media reminder. You can watch us on YouTube at Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, also on Facebook, and you can listen on the radio at WERA 96.7 FM. Now, on to the news.
As of Sunday evening, August 16th, reports show that the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington had exceeded 3,200. Regular viewers will note the somewhat accelerated increase in our reported numbers. On Friday evening, August 14th, Arlington County firefighters battled a blaze at the Domino's Pizza on Lee Highway. The fire broke out just before 7:45 p.m. at the pizzeria on the 4800 block of Lee Highway. Flames could be seen coming from the roof. For some time, Lee Highway had to be blocked by the emergency response. The road reopened around 9:30 p.m. By then, the fire was out and units were clearing the scene. No injuries to occupants or firefighters were reported. The adjacent Indian A1 grocery was not affected. The cause of the blaze remains under investigation by the fire marshal's office. Also, an email we received on August 17th reads as follows, and I quote, "Arlingtonians are invited to an online event about the Missing Middle Housing Study Research Compendium on Wednesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. online." The email also included the message, "Register and join the event here," but the link they provided is 80 characters long. Anyone who didn't get the email link can go to Facebook and search for Arlington Missing Middle. The email goes on to say, "Expand your background knowledge about missing middle housing before the study begins. Learn more about research available, including Arlington-specific data and existing conditions. Ask your questions and hear from the authors of the Missing Middle Housing Study Research Compendium. All members of the community are invited to attend virtually." Elsewhere, the Arlington County Police Department's Special Victims Unit has announced the arrest of a subject charged with a sex offense involving a juvenile. Playford Ray Resch, aged 40, of Arlington, was arrested and charged with aggravated sexual battery. He is being held without bond in the Arlington County Detention Facility. Police had determined that 3 juveniles were out walking when the suspect allegedly began to follow them. He then approached the female victim from behind, grabbed her buttocks, and placed his hands around her, pulling towards him. The victim pushed the suspect away and called for help. The suspect fled the scene on foot prior to police arrival, and a search of the area failed to locate him. Later, detectives assigned to the Special Victims Unit began an investigation of the incident. A review of witness interviews, tips from the public, and crime scene evidence led detectives to identify Mr. Resch as a suspect. He was taken into custody without incident in the 3300 block of Wilson Boulevard on the evening of August 13th. It seemed noteworthy that the incident occurred at approximately 5:12 p.m. on December 10th, 2019. We can only wonder about Mr. Resch's activities during the 8 months between December and August. This remains an active criminal investigation. Anyone who has additional information related to this investigation or may have had past inappropriate encounters with the suspect is asked to contact Detective Gomez at 703-228-4173 or sfgomez@arlingtonva.us. Information may also be provided anonymously through the Arlington County Crime Solvers Hotline at 1-866-411-8477. Finally in the news, for 2 weeks, from Monday, August 24th to Sunday, September 6th, anyone heading to or from the W&OD Trail on the Custis Trail will be detoured around Bon Air Park via Wilson Boulevard and North Lexington Street. Pedestrians should note that the detour will add 3/4 of a mile to their trip, and at the average walking speed of 3 miles per hour, you'll need to add an additional 15 minutes to your walk time. That concludes the news portion of our program. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board.
Hello and welcome to Community Bulletin Board, or CBB. Here's an event for kids aged 5 to 9. It's called Flutter By Butterfly. What do butterflies need to survive and grow? The kids will learn about some local examples of butterflies, take a virtual walk outside to see who they can find, and complete a butterfly craft together that can be done with materials found at home. The organizers will email a link to Microsoft Teams before the program's start time. Please make sure your device is ready to go before the program starts. Registration is required. Just call 703-228-4747 and refer to activity number 642820-H. That's on Wednesday, August 26th from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. For more information, you can call Maddie Koenig at 703-228-3503. Next up, there's a chance to join a naturalist for a bug hunt around the Gulf Branch Nature Center. You'll look around the pond, under leaf litter, and turn over logs in search of bugs. It may not seem like much, but it's a good excuse to get out of the house and actually go to a park. You can contact Ken Rosenthal. He's at krosenthal@arlingtonva.us. And that's on Thursday, August 27th from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. at the Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, 3608 North Military Road. Next up, they say that fall is the ideal time to restore cool season grass, which is the most common turf grass grown on lawns in our area. Well, here's a program that will describe how to improve lawns and the underlying soil and outline steps for ensuring a beautiful, weed-free lawn with an emphasis on sustainable practices and minimizing the impact to our native pollinators and wildlife. It's an online class offered by Extension Master Gardeners via Zoom. The speaker is Extension Master Gardener Joyce Hilton, who, in addition to spring and fall lawn care, is an expert in weed identification and management. Please RSVP on the Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia website. You will receive an immediate email confirmation. They ask that you please check your email for registration confirmation and check the spam folder so that you don't register twice. You'll then receive an additional email with the Zoom link and password and any additional materials 24 hours prior to the class. Then you'll receive a reminder email with the Zoom link and password and even more additional materials 1 hour prior to the class. Registration closes an hour before the event begins. That's on Friday, August 28th from 10 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. Finally, Families can join the fun at Long Branch Nature Center for a summer farewell campfire. It's a chance to learn, tell stories, and have a good time. They've got the fire and sticks, but you should bring your own s'mores supplies. Register adults and youth by contacting Bobby Farley, that's BFARLEY, at ArlingtonVA.us. That's on Saturday, August 29th from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Again, that's at the Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Well, here we go again. This is about the Aurora Hills 55 Plus Book Club. 55 Plus members will meet to discuss a chosen book. The next discussion will focus on The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbary. It's a moving, funny, triumphant novel set in Paris that exalts the quiet victories of the inconspicuous among us. You can RSVP to Leela Peg for this Zoom program. She's at lpaig@arlingtonva.us. That's on Tuesday, August 25th from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. Next up, we got the Lee Book Club. Get together for great books and friendly conversation. Now, they give you a big preview here. September's book is Red Notice by Bill Browder. Then October's book is Unorthodox, The Scandalous Rejection of My Hasidic Roots by Deborah Feldman. And then they give you November's book, which is Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. You can RSVP to Sheila Budoff for a meeting link before the programs. She's at SBUDOFF@arlingtonva.us, and the next meeting comes up on Tuesday, September 1st from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Now, for those of us who like to think there's got to be more to life than social clubs and Zoom meetings, here's some actual news. Now, we don't usually go around trumpeting store openings. We figure they advertise enough already. But this opening of a new Target store in Boston should be of special interest to older Arlingtonians. Is it okay to say older Arlingtonians? Anyway, the good news is it's a pretty full-featured Target store. It's better than the one in Roslyn. You could do pretty well if you're looking for cosmetics, pharmacy, clothes, toys and games, TVs, Blu-ray, baby supplies, cleaning supplies, pet food, groceries, which includes bread and milk, snacks, vegetables, which includes actual heads of lettuce, juices, lots of cheeses, frozen pizza, some frozen vegetarian products, ice cream, beer, wine, soft drinks, kitchenware, towels and bedding, office supplies, and even some fresh meat. Now, some of their international food stock is pretty modest. You could make an emergency taco, but their Indian food consists of Bombay potatoes. They also do have frozen vegetables, but they don't got riced broccoli. I can give you this list because I went down there myself. Now, I couldn't find any computers for sale, but like the man says, you can't have everything. One very handy thing is the availability of 2 levels of underground parking accessible from North Glebe Road. Even better, your Target receipt validates free parking for an hour. For a lot of 55-plus residents and even some of the whippersnappers, this new store will fill most of the needs that have been so sadly unmet by Ballston Quarter. Finally, there's an old song called Happy Days Are Here Again, but those of us who have noticed that change in the pedestrian walk signals probably don't feel that way. In case you haven't noticed, the push button to cross sign now has another sign saying not to, don't push it, and that the pedestrian signals are automated. This goes back to the earlier times when you had no control over the signals. I was wondering why. Why did they do this? And I found out it's a COVID thing. It seems that someone was worried about people pushing buttons with their naked fingers. Now you can still push the button and the electronic guy will still yell at you to wait, but it might not do any good unless you just like being scolded. Anyway, at least they had a reason. Now I'm wondering what they'll do with the elevators. Maybe some machine will just decide what floor you get to go to. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about the fair.
Yes, the intended highlight of this past weekend was the Arlington County Fair, and the organizers did make a sincere effort to bring about the event in a virtual format. Anyone who went to the original fair location was greeted by an amazing amount of available on-street parking, but that was about all. There weren't any fair signs at all. The traditional vendor locations were empty. The outdoor food area was only suitable for people on a grass diet, and the ride and arcade area was like an empty green prairie. A dinosaur face on a playground ride seemed to grin at the irony. However, for those who went online, the fair was indeed going on. There was an opening greeting from Barbie Broadus, followed by a performance by the Arlingtons, and the official opening ceremony conducted by County Board Chair Libby Garvey on location in what might have been her dining room. But then some of the familiar fair-like features got going, like a frying demo, a t-shirt fashion display, an on-location video from Fresh Impact Farms, a musical performance by Andrew Acosta, another musical performance, this one featuring Badger Creek, some artwork, some more artwork, even more artwork, a performance by the Calico Cloggers, including a demonstration of the Virginia Reel. Also a performance by Time Warp Rock. Then some competitive exhibits, and some more competitive exhibits, and even more competitive exhibits, which for some people is the heart of a county fair. And of course, the yoga goats. Quite a number of yoga goats. But what fair would be complete without the yoga goats? And for an actual live event, a pie-eating contest. If you want to find out the winner of the pie-eating contest, you'll have to go to the fair's Facebook page. We don't do spoilers here. All in all, there was enough to at least remind viewers of past fairs and leave them with hope for the future. Here are some of the sights and sounds from those past fairs and some of the music from this year's fair.
Hello everybody, how do you do? We're here to sing and play for you. sunshine of prize and riches too, of beauty and distortion. Someday it'll all come true. Into the city every day to do my work and draw my pay. Come 5 o'clock and I'm on my way. Head for the station, you can hear me sing old line, take me home one more. Red, yellow, or blue trains I may ride to visit my friends or see the sun. But when Metro Center comes into view, only one train that I use on the line. Old line will take me home one more time. Old line, take me home one more time. Yes, take me home one more time.
And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington, along with some on-the-ground observations. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.